Hi, everyone. Namaste. I want to take a moment to chat a little bit about one of the yamas. So, the yamas and niyamas are ethical principles of yoga. There's five yamas and five niyamas, and they are listed in Patanjali Yoga Sutra. So that's where they come from, and they're part one and two of an eightfold process towards samadhi, moksha, or enlightenment or self-realization. And for most of us, starting with yamas and niyamas can be a really helpful way to start to shift our awareness and focus from living very externally, start to focus inward and develop more of an inward process of meeting the world. And so the yama I wanted to mention today was ahimsa. It's the first one. It means non-harming. So ahimsa, non-harming. And to me, it is a practice that can help to direct our responsibility back to ourselves and take responsibility for what we are experiencing and how we are interacting with the external world. So, one aspect that is harming is blame. So, whether we're like pointing the finger and blaming and getting angry and upset about something outside of ourselves, like, and there's another thing we can do, which is personalizing over blaming, making something about ourselves that it isn't. But I want to specifically talk about the finger pointing aspect of harm, because why is it harming? Number one, because usually it means we are not taking responsibility for our part. And when we are pointing the finger and blaming someone else, we're actually giving our power away. We're saying, I'm not responsible for any of this, and it's that person or that thing, and I have no power to change or do anything, which there are very few situations in life where that is actually even true. And so ahimsa can actually be a very empowering process of trying to find ways to interact that are non-harming. And when we're usually blaming, what emotions are you feeling? I know for me, I was thinking about this. A lot of times there's anger or resentment, hurt, envy, lots of different emotions. And especially with that anger, there's a great quote. I'm trying to think if it was Buddha who said it. I can't remember specifically, but I think it was that anger is like a hot coal, that continuing to hold on to it, the only one who gets burned is you. That's actually can be harming to ourselves and harming to others around us when we're just like in this anger zone and la la la, right? It's not that anger is bad. Like, we're going to feel the emotion of anger. It's part of life. It's what we do with it and how to get more constructive with it than destructive. So, I encourage, the practice comes from specifically a model for emotional regulation that I created. It's just an acronym called Stay Calm, and focusing just on the first three, STA, the stay part, can be so helpful in starting to practice ahimsa. So when you start to feel some of these emotions or feel yourself like, getting upset and like kind of lecturing and going on for something that's happening outside of you, when you're aware of this, stop. So first thing is just stop and pause. And probably really soon after that, they're almost together, is to take a breath. And it might be a few breaths, like pause and breathe. You might have to leave a situation in order to do this. Most likely, if your lid is flipped because you're about something, you need to leave the situation. So stop and pause and take some breaths, starting to calm the mind so that you can start to bring your whole brain together. So when our lid is flipped, we want to bring that prefrontal cortex back so we can start to become aware and notice and use our brain to go inward. And so then cultivating an attitude of curiosity. And this is getting curious about your own reaction, what's happening here. It doesn't matter what's happening out there. When something happens, if you can start to get in the habit of noticing your reaction, that's the most important part, because that is the part that we have control over. That is our responsibility. Life is going to happen, stuff's going to happen. But if we can come first to us and ourselves, notice what's happening, we can start to then discern, how do I want to constructively manage this? Okay. So getting curious about your emotions. What emotions? Most likely there's more than one. So notice, what emotions might I be feeling? Noticing body sensations. Where do you feel that emotion in the body? Where are you feeling things? And then thoughts. What are thoughts that you're having with these different emotions and reactions? And so it doesn't mean that first notice emotions and then body sensations, thoughts. You might first notice your thoughts, or you might first notice body sensations. Those are the three areas to get curious about. It's not linear. Choosing, you'll find that one comes easier, that you're aware of first, and then getting to learn what the other ones that are happening at the same time, what that whole reaction is about. And then once you start to notice that and gather that data, asking yourself, okay, what part is mine? What do I have control over here? And this is important because I know right now that we're 2 years into the pandemic. There's been so much upheaval and so many different places happening. There's a lot of division. I know, especially in the US, there's even more and more division, us versus them, that fuels more fear, more anger, more, again, lashing out, right? And it's a hard energy to be with, and it's hard to find our way back to ourselves, especially if you're a person who really cares a lot and has a big heart. So when we come back to what we can control, sometimes it's about, even letting go of, like, we can't control a lot of what's going on this macro level. What we can control is the energy we are bringing into this world and how we are in our world responding to the world, right? So it might be as simple as, let me be kind to myself. Let me have some kind words, more compassionate words to myself. Let me call someone or text someone and just send some positive thing out, letting someone know you're thinking about them. It might be sitting there writing, letting out those emotions, write it all down, and then come back and, like, look at it again and, okay, what can I do here? Maybe that's enough just to get it out and move on. So those are the steps I really encourage each of you to start to practice and start doing when you are noticing blame. All right. And this is a way to practice ahimsa, or non-harming. Wonderful. Just so you know, I'm going to be doing another Yama and Niyama 8-week Sangha starting the end of February. And if it's something that you're interested in doing, please feel free to contact me. You can either go to my website and go to the contact button there. You can email me or even message me, however you'd like, if it's something you're interested. It starts February 23rd, and I'll be sending out, putting some information out about it in some of my newsletters, and also on various groups and social media as well. All right, I hope you have a wonderful day, and namaste.